want to make this a big event for you. Our goal is to change your lives. If you know you can help, if you know you can make a difference, if you don't, you're going to have this freaking big hole inside. No amount of money can fill this thing up.
It started when I was selling fax machines door to door, getting kicked out of office buildings day in and day out. And I woke up one morning and I thought, I'm in the wrong movie.
So that's why I created Damon On Demand and Rise and Grind and Display of Power and Power of Growth and do Shark Tank to empower you to make sure that you don't make those mistakes in life.
Greatest love you can actually give someone is giving them the ability to achieve their dreams.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jared Glant, and this is Young Hustlers. I'm rocking a little different hair today. A little wild over here. Interesting to see it here in the studio for the first time. But hey, it's Thursday. It's noon East Coast Standard Time, and every week, myself and my man GC, we put this show on the Cardone Zone called Young Hustlers so that we can help the young folk like me get ahead faster. I don't want to have old money, and I don't think you do either. I want to have young money. I want to have new money, and I want it to grow into be old money. And so in order to make that happen, there's things that you need to be doing today, whether you're 18, 25, 35, 45. There's things that you need to be doing right now that are going to get you on track. And today's a big topic. It's probably the #1 question that people reach out to me. If you're not following me on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat, not so much Snapchat, but hit me up, follow me, because if you ask questions, I answer them. And so one of the biggest things that people always ask is, hey, am I in the right job? Should I quit my job? How do I know if it's time to quit? So that is going to be the topic of the show today. Are you in the right vehicle? Are you in the right job? Is it time for you to anchor down, double down, or is it time for you to move on? So call this number right here, 305-865-8668. And we'll have a quick chat about your current situation so that you can determine if you're in the right role or not. One thing before I get started, a lot of people have not heard about the event that Grant is doing next Friday here in Miami. It's the 10X Miami event. It's a single-day event. It's a new thing for us. Came together super last minute, but we wanted to do a one-day event in Miami. Damon John is going to speak there. Self-made female billionaire Sara Blakely. She founded a company called Spanx. It's like a pantyhose, you know, for lumpy things that happen, you know, for females. And anyway, she's going to come in and she's going to drop some bombs. Damon John's going to come in and talk about he took FUBU to $6 billion in sales. Tickets are as low as $99 right now. You can buy them if you go to grantcardone.com/10X Miami. You can get your seats there. It's only one day. It's not like you're going to have to be gone for a long time. Depending on where you live, come in late Thursday, do the deal Friday, and then you're out home Friday night. We'd love to see you there. It's going to be a great event. But we're talking today about your job. So, you know, look, I think that for a lot of people, when they come at me and they ask me the question of should I leave my job or not, I think the first response that I always have is like, are you asking the right question right now? Because I've been in a position before where I didn't think I was in the right job. Like I was in a position. I remember a job that I had, and I was looking around me and I was going, man, you know what? I hate this job. I don't like what I'm selling. I don't like what I'm doing. I'm not making any money. You know, I don't know if I can get behind this. But the truth was, I looked around and there were other people making money, and there were other people that liked the job. And so before too long, I started looking at going, wow, maybe the problem isn't the job. Maybe the problem's me. And so what I would tell anybody if you are thinking that you're not in the right role, if you're thinking you're not in the right position, that you need to take a serious look at, is it you or is it the job? This is before any of the other stuff we're going to talk about today. This is the most important thing you need to do. Because if you have the issue and it's not your job, then you need to focus on fixing the right thing. Because some people make the mistake of chasing the job when the problem is really themselves. And so for me, I didn't really start like anchoring in until I got committed. And I got committed to doing things that I didn't want to do. And I got committed to learning. And I got committed to making sacrifices and giving up personal time, giving up recreational spending, giving up recreational smoking. Like, it wasn't until I started making sacrifices and choices and changes in my life that I actually found out that I was in a great role, in a great position. And I'll talk a little bit about my role today with Grant and where I started, where I came from, so that hopefully you can learn a little bit about what I was looking for. By the way, if you're listening on iTunes, please subscribe to the channel and review the podcast. We love those reviews. So, assuming that you're in a job right now that you don't know or that you don't love and you don't know if you're in the right deal or not, and assuming that you've asked yourself the question, is it me or the job, and assuming that the answer to that question was the job, there's a few things that you need to do. So the very first thing you need to do, if you think you're in the wrong role, if you think you're underpaid, if you can't get behind what you're doing, the very first thing you need to do is you need to look around you. And you need to look and see what other people are doing in their role. You need to look at what other people are getting paid, what they're making. You need to look at the attitude. You need to look at the culture. You need to look at how they carry themselves. Are they ethical people? Like, you need to look at the people around you. You know, a lot of people go on job interviews that promise six-figure incomes, but then you get there and you start working there and you realize there ain't nobody making six figures except the boss, right? So you got to go through, when you go in for a job interview and you're going around, you should talk to other people. You should tell the person that you're going to work for, if it's a sales job and they're making big promises, show me the money. Show me W-2s. I'm committed. Now that's a bold question, right? You have to be quite confident in what you're able to deliver for you to go into a company and be like, hey, yo, prove what people are earning here. But it's a way to get you more data to find out how others are performing there. Because the last place that you want to be is in a position where, again, you're not in the right role because something was misrepresented to you. So look around. Are people showing up early? Are they staying late? Like, look at the culture of the business. Do people like being there? We don't have the funnest job in the world here. Well, we have an intern right now who's a family friend of Grant's. And I asked him the other day in the morning meeting, I said, is working here what you thought it would be? And he goes, no, it's not as fun. It's not as fun because we always see everything on social media. We always see the ha, 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 the laughing and the joking. But this is a serious deal, and it's a lot of work. And so you need to find an environment that you can go in, you can be in, where people are actually committed to the same goal, because if not, they're going to drag you down. And when we get back into the break, I'm going to go into a few other things you need to keep your eyes open for. This is Young Hustlers.
Are you tired of buying ads? How much would 5 times more visitor from search engines like Google or Bing do for your business? Link Research Tools helps you increase that free organic traffic. We have offerings to get your business to become the dominant force on the internet. The secret of internet traffic is what we give you. We convert that traffic into cash flow for your business. Learn more at linkedresearchtools.com. That's linkresearchtools.com and sign up now. Wealth Dynamics believes everyone has the God-given right to own their potential. Most of us don't, because we spend 40 hours per week serving the 40-year-to-life sentence, trading our precious time for worthless paper called money. We live on an economic planet, and time and money do need to be exchanged, but it doesn't need to be your time or your money. We teach our clients to secure income-producing assets that make the time and money exchange for you, so you can buy your freedom back and live a life of abundance and prosperity. To get there, we must know how to make money, how to keep it, and how to multiply it. Wealth Dynamics provides coaching, education, accountability, and community to help you build wealth. Join our coaching program, get educated on Wealth Dynamics University, and begin networking with the Wealth Dynamics Mastermind Group today. To get started, go to wealthdynamics.com. There's only one person you need to know when it comes to health, fitness, and a better lifestyle. Liz Nierzwicki started her fitness journey at 10, overcame OCD, and is the foremost expert in weight training and dieting. She's the author of the international best-selling Happy, Healthy, Fit, Transform your life in 90 days with the Figure Fit Lifestyle Program. She's also the host of the Figure Fit Life podcast. Liz is there to ensure you achieve your goals in fitness. She knows every movement of the body, every food to eat to get in shape, to achieve your fitness goals. To learn more about Liz, go to liznearswiki.com. That's liznearswiki.com right now.
What's going on, young hustlers? On the Cardone Zone every Thursday, noon East Coast Standard Time. This is the sales show. This is the show for the people with the young hustle, trying to feed it, trying to keep it alive, trying to go out, trying to get more of what they want in life. You know, I didn't always have everything that I wanted. I used to think that the cards were stacked against me. The problems used to be everybody else's except my own. And it wasn't until I took full responsibility for myself and my future that things actually started lining up for me. And, you know, I got a job working for Grant, and in the beginning where it was really hard and there wasn't a lot of structure, and I was making cold calls, like 250 cold calls every day. I was getting my face bashed in, and I was the only sales guy, and there wasn't a lot of support. Like man, I wanted to quit. But then I finally took responsibility for it. I said, look, this is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity. Look at the leader. Look at what he's doing. Look at what he's about. Like I could tell this guy was going somewhere and he was doing something. So that's another layer of this am I in the right role thing. Number one, you need to look at the others around you and how they're performing. Number two, you got to look at the leader. Who is the leader and what are their priorities? Is she coming in early? Is she staying late? Is she all about the hustle and grind? Does she want to grow? Does she have big goals? Does he think that you can actually pull it off? Are they inspirational or are they demanding? Do they build people up or do they break people down? Like, you got to figure out, these are all things, these are all elements that should go into a decision. You know, people ask that question like it's such a small thing. Like, hey, am I in the right job or not? I don't know, man. To ask that question, like there's some work that needs to be put in behind it. And so that's what the show's about today. I want to get to some callers because I think actually going through and chatting to some people about this could be really helpful. So who do we got? Tara in New York. Thank you for calling the show today. Tara, are you there?
Hello?
Hey,
yeah.
How are you, Tara?
Oh, good. Thanks for taking my call, Jared.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I said, what's your question?
All right, I have one question which I haven't heard answered. I've been watching your show for quite a while.
Uh-huh.
And one question keeps popping up for me. So I understand that we need to make the money, keep the money, and invest the money. But when you're in the stage of keeping the money, where do you put it? Because I've heard Grant talk about not leaving it in the bank and not leaving it in your mattress.
Yeah.
But while you're accumulating it, where do you put it?
Yeah, so people have heard Grant in the past talk about you've got to get to $100,000 in the bank before you should like really make a move, like stack enough money away so that you can actually make a move.
Exactly.
There's actually a little bit more of a backstory behind that, because what happens is people get so focused on the money that they have that they stop focusing on creating more income. And so really, like for me, I had that $100,000 in a checking account. Like when I was building up, it took me like probably a year and a half to save up $100,000. It was in a checking account. Like I had a separate checking account. It was just sitting in a checking account. But most people try to deploy that money and get it somewhere. Like they'll get to $15,000 or $20,000 and they'll be like, well, what do I do with the $20,000? Well, nothing yet. Like unless you're going to put that $15,000 somewhere that's going to pay you monthly, where you're going to have cash flow from it, $20,000 is a number that you need to keep close by, because emergencies happen, things come up. You could want to go to like the sales boot camp that we're doing here in Miami. It's a $15,000 ticket. you know, like that, you may be like, I've got to go there because if I go there, I know that there's going to be other business owners there and I get to have dinner with Grant and I get to sit in the front row. The connections that I'll make with that 15,000 will help me make 3 or 4 or 500,000. So it's really, it's not about like the best place to put small amounts of money. It's about understanding how the chips are playing out on the board. So like if you've got, like how much money do you have in the bank right now?
Right. So I was going to ask you specifically. So I have $100,000.
Yeah.
And I heard that whole thing about you have to save $100,000. And then I also heard him say you want to have a year's worth of income accessible. So it seems to me like that $100,000 should just stay in I have it in a savings account.
Yeah.
And just like keep it in the savings account, pretend it doesn't exist, don't touch it. But that's not the money that I would invest, correct?
Well, so there's like a list of rankings here, like 1 through 8 of what you should do with your money. What I would say is if you have $100,000 in the bank, how much money did you make last year?
Well, last year, I'm a business owner, so it's what I earned and plus my benefits, I'd say combined around $200,000. Okay.
So there's a rule. There's a rule that Grant talks about called the 40% rule. Have you heard him talk about this?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So one of the key for the people that haven't heard about this, it's basically you need to be able to keep 40% of whatever your gross income is for yourself. Now, like until you get into the $300,000 or $400,000 a year range, that's really tough to do and still survive, especially if you live in New York.
Yeah, no kidding.
So the point of the 40% rule is to be like, okay, so I've got $100,000. You know, like if you were, how much did you make the year before last year?
Same.
$200,000. So $200,000 2 years in a row makes you an accredited investor. Okay. So if you took that $100,000 and you put it like into one of Grant's investment funds or something like that somebody else offers, that would pay you, like when I put $100,000 with Grant, it pays me 6% preferred throughout the year, which means I'm getting monthly checks for $500. So most people, they don't have enough money to deploy to actually make a difference. Now, $500 is a decent amount of money. I mean, it's not no money, but I mean, it could cover a car payment. So at least at that point, that $100,000 is working for you. But again, it's like you really need to double down on how do you make that $200,000 that you're earning $400,000. Like, exactly. That's where the attention should be focused. The $100,000, I mean, put it somewhere where you get checks every month or put it in a savings account. It really doesn't even matter at this point because until you get the income to where I ask you this question a year from now and you say, I made $400,000 and then a year from that, I made $600,000, like your income needs to be continually increasing. And so the last thing that you'd want to do, Tara, is shift your focus to that $100,000 that you have in and start putting attention on what to do with that. And so that's why he's like, hey, like if it's got to be in a bank account so it's accessible, then that's fine. But don't put it into a 401k where it's going to be locked up for the next 30 years and you're never going to be able to get it and you're not getting cash flow off of it. Like, so it's just a series of like check boxes on a list, right? So the box that I would say is not checked for you yet is the income box.
Right.
Because
I'm working on that.
Once the income gets to a point where you're putting enough cash flow down to the bottom that you can actually invest, and like over the last couple years, I've got myself in that position to where I can live, support myself, have a little bit of money left over, and then invest the majority of my money into where now I've got, 10 or 11 grand a month in cash flow in passive income every month. So
yeah, I've heard that. That was definitely inspiring. Back
to your question, I would just say, don't put your money anywhere if it's not paying you monthly until that income starts cranking, 300, 400, 500, and you're seeing incremental increases in your income. I appreciate the call, Tara. Thank you for calling into the show today. When we get back from the break, we're going to circle back around through, go over a few more points so you can identify if you're in the right role or not in the company that you're in so that you know if you need to move on or stay.
There's only one company to work for in the smart home industry, Skyline Security. Right now is looking for the best of the Grant Cardone following to join their team and expand financially and professionally. Go to joinskyline.com to register. Labeled by Inc. 5000 as the fastest growing company for the last 2 years in a row, you get to protect families, grow your wealth, and join a team of top producers. Skyline is looking for great people. Go to joinskyline.com. That's joinskyline.com to get started on a brand new 10x career path. Go to joinskyline.com to register. Computer engineering is at the front of everything digital and technology. With the most advanced use of Amazon Web Services, artificial intelligence to predict your next sale, learn how to predict what your customers will buy next, learn how to know and automate your whole business so you can do one thing: go make more money. Tim Clark is the guy to know, a thriving entrepreneur and the mastermind behind artificial intelligent sales processes. Get automated, make more money, and grow your business with Nikos. Learn more at NikosCE.com. That's NikosCE.com right now. You sell products online? Are you waiting on inventory to ship from overseas? Do you want to earn higher commissions on bigger ticket items? With my hands-on training, I will show you how we built a $30 million business without spending high amounts on advertising. Achieve real results selling high-ticket products online with products made and shipped in the United States. Learn to generate millions per year online with Ecom Explosion. To start converting today, go to ecomexplosion.com. That's ecomexplosion.com to learn more. The fastest growing e-commerce platform in fitness, gymfoodstore.com. Brought to you by Harvard-trained MD entrepreneur and specialist in rehabilitation and regenerative medicine, David Carley, along with Zoe Bedford, experience in distribution and product development. Gym Food Store is your online marketplace for nutrition and sport supplementation. We give you access to the most effective products and nutrition, all while providing expert reviews and user education. Gym Food Store is here to help you identify and validate product selection so that you are not wasting money or time on products that are simply subpar. Learn more at gymfoodstore.com. That's gymfoodstore.com right now.
Welcome back to the Cardone Zone. This is Young Hustlers. This is the Sales and Money Show. My name's Jared Glant. My partner, GC, Grant Cardone, he's taken the day to go work on some big fat real estate deals. So I'm doing this show solo, but we're talking today about determining whether or not you're in the right role, if you're in the right job. It's a big question. I'd been in a lot of positions where I thought I wasn't in the right job, only to find out I really wasn't I wasn't committed to the job that I was in. And once I got committed and I kind of figured out some things just took off for me. And so the last thing you want to do is leave a job when the problem's you, because that problem's going to follow you wherever you go next. So I put together just a few little things that you can check on to actually identify if you're in the right role or if the problem is actually you. As soon as I go through a couple more of these, we'll pop on some more callers. Question number one, how are the people around you performing? Not just like what are their sales or how much is their income, but like what are their ethics? Are they showing up on time? Are they positive? Are they supportive? Or are they antagonistic? Do they beat you down? Do they make you feel bad? Do they make you feel good? Like what's your environment like? Second thing is, who's running the ship? Who's the owner? Who's the manager, the principal, the CEO, the executive, whoever? Like, where are they at? What are they trying to do with the business? Where are they going? Because if they are not pushing and shoving to grow the business, not just maintain the business, but grow the business, then eventually at some point things are going to turn down because they're playing defense, not offense. And that will affect you, and it will affect your ability to produce and create income. The third thing that you need to look at is, are you making money? Like, are you actually making money? Do you have the ability to show up and produce money for yourself? And then based on what you do and what you provide, are you getting better at your job, and is that translating to more money for you? Because if you're showing up and you're busting your ass and you're going all in every day and you're doing all the right things and your income is not increasing, it could be time for you to move on. But you have to be doing the right things. Don't misinterpret that. Like if you're showing up every day and you're showing up at 9 and you're leaving at 5, you're taking an hour-long lunch, the second you walk out that door, you're not thinking about what you're doing, dude, you have no business even asking the question, are you in the right job? Because your head is not in the right place. Money is not important enough to you yet. Your goals, your dreams, your purpose, it's not strong enough for you yet. So you need to get connected to that. That's the thing you need to get connected with. And folks, I'm just telling you this because I went through every stage of this multiple times. hate my life, hate my job, in the wrong place, loathe and despise driving in every day. The whole way home, I'm bitching, you know, why am I doing this? Why am I here? I hate my job. Like, I've been through the whole deal before. I love coming to work now. It doesn't even seem like work. It just seems like a place that we're all committed to a purpose. We're all committed to a goal, and we all show up at the same time, in the same place, and we all go hard on this one thing all day. And then, you know, at the end of the day, everybody goes home and everybody's still posting on social. Like the environment that we have here is unreal. So number one, how are others performing? Number two, look at the leader, see what they're all about. Number three, are you making money? And are you even trying? And then number four, and this is key right here, if you're not making money, are you learning? Are you learning? Are you developing as a person skills that will benefit you later down the road? Like, I stayed at a job 6 months longer than I needed to because I was learning something. I was learning how to negotiate deals. I was learning how to interact with people in a different level. Like, I knew I was over the job, but I also knew that I had the foresight to see that this is going to be valuable to me later. And if you're working in a smaller company like this company was when I first started, you get exposed to a lot. It's an unreal learning opportunity if you're willing to take advantage of it. You know, small isn't always bad. Small can be a great opportunity. If I went at 26 years old to go work for a big company with 200 employees, you know how talented you have to be to bypass all the political bullshit to get in an executive role that young? Like, you have so many things stacked against you because you have people there with tenure and people there been there for 7 or 8 or 9 years. And then you put the business owner in a situation where they got to tell the guy that's been there for 10 years, hey, we just hired somebody, they've been here for 90 days, they're crushing you, we're going to put them above you. Like, there's so many things that go into that factoring that, like, if I were to tell somebody the perfect place to really accelerate your career faster is go to a small company with a great leader. You can find a small company with a great leader and they have a little bit of money. Like, that's where I came from. That's where we started here. Like, if you have ever looked at me and gone, oh, wow, hey, I'd love to be where Jared's at. I'd love to, you know, I wish I, you know, was making the kind of money he was making. Dude, most people would have walked into the office 8 years ago and been like, oh, man, like, I don't know if this place is, like, how committed to growing are they? Like, our office had, like literally 3 offices in it. Like, it was tiny because we were starting something new. But I knew that the guy that I was showing up to work with every day was committed to going big. And he was, at the time, this was in 2009, he wasn't even paying himself. You know, he wasn't taking money out of the company at all. He probably still doesn't to this day. You know, because he was committed to growing. And so, like, you have to learn. Like, if you're not getting paid, you're doing all the right things, and you're in a small enough company where you can touch these things, you have to take advantage of the opportunity to learn. You know? You will overstep opportunity. You will pass by opportunities because your attitude isn't right about what you're doing every day. Like, make money or learn something. If you're not making money and you're not learning, get out. If you're not making money, you're not learning anything, and you're showing up with a good attitude and you're trying, leave. It's no longer serving you or your best interests. It's occupying time on your day, and it's keeping you further away from where you should be or in a role where you could be moving closer towards the things that are most important to you in life. Let's go to some callers, Natalie. Double D, Danny in Dallas. What's happening, man?
What's up, Jared? How are you today, my man?
Good, man. I appreciate you calling into the show.
No, thank you. This is Daniel with Ocampo Solar in Dallas. Just in case, my phone number is 972-821-7279. This is very, very important what you're saying because I'm in the same position. I'm own now a solar company, a solar business here in Dallas. And for the past 3.5 years, patiently, I was learning about the industry, about the big companies. Don't making that much money because it's you know, a new way to produce power to the people. But I was patiently learning, and now I know the people, I know the finance guys, I know the installers, and now the payoff is going to start to see it.
Yep.
But again, it's who you surround yourself, and just like you say, if you don't make money, learn, a bunch, learn quietly, and when it's ready, just start to explode.
Yeah, and so Danny, thanks for the call, by the way, Danny. So like Danny works in the solar business, and I know guys that went to work for big companies like Solar City or, some of the other billion-dollar solar companies that are out there. And they get to the point where they know how to make the sales call. They see how the business works and operates. And they're like, I want to go start my own deal. I'm not making enough money fast enough, so I'm going to go start my own deal. It's okay to start your own deal if you do it the right way. Like, don't be unethical. Like don't cross over and be like sneaky, or like you should be able to go back. You should be able to move on to your next role if you decide that it's time for you to move on because you can take what you learned and do more. That's totally cool. But if you are in a situation where you do that, you should do it in a way that when you look back, your other employer would be like, man, Jared's a great guy. I wish him well. I hope he does unbelievably well. Like, you should leave people like that. You shouldn't leave with, like Danny, if he was working for Solar City, them going, dude, we're going to sue your ass, and we're $1 billion company, and we're gonna bury you. I mean, like, that's not how you would want that to happen. So what Danny's saying is right. You've got to learn and then use that information that you're learning in your next deal, but just do it the right way. Great question. Let's go to another caller. Adrian in Chicago, what's happening? Adrian. Yo, Adrian!
Yo,
what's up?
how's it going, man?
Good. Thanks for calling the show, man. What's your question?
Got a quick question for you, man. I live in Chicago right now. I'm 21. I just turned 21 in March. And finally started my own company. I've been in the trucking business. So I'm making about $120 a year, and I want to invest in the real estate. Just the issue here in Chicago is everything's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not Section 8, then I got to spend $300,000 a unit.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to here or move. I'm thinking about going maybe to Florida. I'm willing to move out of the state because it's hard over here. And if I were to move, I would have to switch jobs. So I'm really thinking about getting my real estate license as well. Just wanted to see, what's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, you asked me, 5 or 6 questions there, so I'll try to remember them and get through them. Number one is this is the exact reason why you shouldn't own a home, because what Adrian's running into right now is that it's expensive to live in Chicago, and it's expensive making $120,000 a year to live and to operate and to hopefully put money away. So, like, just straight up, for example, plus taxes, if you even want to go into that, but if Adrian moved from Chicago to Florida, he'd eliminate state income tax. I don't know where Chicago's at right now, but that's anywhere probably from 8 to 12% of your income. So that's $12,000 a year. If you could find some place in Florida that you could rent for $1,000 a month, you basically could move to Florida and you could pay rent off of the tax savings. So and then you'd have all your money left over on top of that. So those are the types of things that you want to look at when you're moving. Like, hey, like most people don't even consider that because they're so locked into where they're at. Oh, my friends, my family, they're so locked in, they're afraid to move. I moved like 4 times before I was 30 years old. Like, I did San Diego to Austin, Austin back to San Diego to LA, LA to Miami, because I was willing to like be fluid and move with the opportunity. So you should definitely, if you're in a position to either, move for a better opportunity so that you can invest. If you're in a position to do that, you should definitely do that. I'd recommend it. I did it myself. I'm not telling you anything to do I wouldn't do or I hadn't done. But another question is, are you looking to get out of Chicago because you're not making enough money, and is there the opportunity to make more money? See, this is where you start pulling into the other side of the argument here. It's like, like, are you maximizing your earning potential where you're at, or are you just looking for a downsell? Are you looking for just kind of like, well, where can I go and make this much money and it be a little easier? Because what you should be looking at is how can I take that 120 a year and make it 300? Because if you were making 300 a year in Chicago, your life would be a little bit different. Would you agree?
Definitely.
But at the same time, too, if you can make 300 and live in Florida, you'd be saving 30 grand a year. So you know, when you ask all those questions, like, there's a lot of things that you need to factor there. But what I would say for you is be open to chasing the opportunity as long as you're chasing the right thing. You know, chase the money, chase the opportunity, but don't try to run away from something that you don't want to confront with yourself. Meaning, I'm not willing to go all the way in. I'm not willing to commit to the next level. I'm not willing to sacrifice X, Y, and Z so that I can go from 120 to 400 while still living in Chicago. So I hope that helps. Appreciate the call, Adrian. Let's go to the next caller, Miss Natalie Restrepo. I rolled the tongue there. Mike, California, what's happening?
What's up, Jared? How are you, buddy?
Hey, man, thanks for the call. What can I help you with?
All right, so here's my dilemma. What you just said about how you can create your own opportunity if there's potential to make more money and you know, have more opportunity for yourself is what I'm having a dilemma with. So right now, I work for my father-in-law for a pretty big company, and he's done well, and I've earned everything that I've had here, so I get no special treatment. But what I'm realizing is that I could do the same thing that I'm doing now, develop my own company, but I would be a competitor of my father-in-law's business. So I don't know how to do that, and I also don't know what my future role for the company would be. And I don't know if there's like anything where he wants to pass it down. I'm trying to have those conversations now. But I just don't know if that would be the right thing, because I know I can make a lot more money by doing it for myself compared to, you know, just doing it as a sales gig.
Yeah, man, that's you now. See, these are the types of choices and decisions that people are not willing to confront in life. You know, like the 90% of people, probably 99% of people in Mike's position would they just be like, just settle in, stay where you're at, and be fine. But that's why the 99% are the 99% and the 1% are the 1%. Dude, eventually at some point, your father-in-law is going to be gone. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like, he's going to be dead sometime. Like, my dad and my mom are going to die. Sandy's parents will die at some point. When they're gone, what am I going to be left with? See, this was something that I figured out, like, when I was in my 20s, and I didn't want to leave my friends. Like, I was broke, smoking weed every day. I was trying to hang on to my friends and this youth that I had of like going out and having fun and hanging out at the beach or whatever. But then I realized I had one friend who went out, had a kid, another friend, like everybody's getting their life put together. And before it got too far down the road, I woke up and I was like, dude, I got to get my shit together. Because eventually, at some point, all of my other friends are going to have their shit together. And when they all have their own lives, dude, I got to have my own deal. Like, I got to have my stuff together. And so, like, dude, what I would tell you is do you. I posted something on Twitter yesterday. I said, you have to be selfish until you can be generous. You need to be selfish.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday, too, and that was great.
Dude, you have to make the best decision for you. You know, if your father-in-law is worried, if he's threatened because you're going out and you're starting a business, then he knows he's not doing enough of the right thing. You know, like, we don't worry about competitors. We don't worry about people in our space because we know what we're doing. We're confident with it. So, you know, sit down with your wife, have the conversation with her, and tell her what's up. Y'all got to figure that out. But that's
and it helps me. What helped me with you guys is asking tough questions, which it helps me with my business and sales. And what I realized that I could do is I could also ask the tough questions with my family. You know, you have to ask those tough questions. So I planned out a dinner with him on Saturday to ask him those tough questions and like ask him, okay, what is his vision for me at the company? And if it's just, oh, I want you to stay in the same role that you're doing and maybe grow a little bit, you're increasing your sales and everything. then it's like, okay, hey, wait a second, I got to do my own thing here, you know?
Yeah, but I will say something else. A mistake that people make is they get to the point where they want to be the business owner too soon. So this goes back to, are you making money? Is the money increasing and growing? Is there more opportunity where you're at? And are you learning? Because it sounds like you're checking a lot of those boxes where you're at right now. It sounds like you're making more sales, so you're making more money. You're learning things about the business. You know, those are the only reasons why you should stay somewhere for longer, when even though you know eventually you're going to move on, is so that you can get a little bit further. Like I could go, if Grant blew me out today, like I could go start a new business and I could have money in the bank and I could have reserves. Not a whole lot, because I just wrote a big fat check to invest in some deals. But like I know I've got enough to like start a new thing and kind of weather the storm. So, dude, if you've got like 20 grand in the bank and you're trying to go start your own business, I'd be very like, you know, especially if it means you could possibly, you know, damage a relationship with your father-in-law. I'd be really weary of that. So make sure that when you go, you're funded, you have information. People will tell you, oh yeah, don't plan any of that stuff out. Bullshit, man. Plan that stuff out. Because if you're not, you're being reckless and you're going to put your family at danger. So dude, I hope that helped. I appreciate the call. Let me know how it turns out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So like you got to figure out if you're in the right position or not. Is it because of you, or is it because of the role that you're in? If it's because of the role that you're in and you're showing up doing the right things every day, how is everybody else doing around you? Are they moving up? Are they moving down? Are they adding to the environment, or are they diminishing the environment? Are they positive, or are they negative? Do they build you up? Do they knock you down? You know, you've got to look at the environment and look at the people around you and see what they're doing. Number two, you got to look at the leadership. You got to look at where the boss is going, what type of work ethic they have, how much they invest in the business. Are they forward thinking, or do they play a kind of a reactive game? Are there new things that they're trying all the time? You got to look at the leaders. Number three, are you making money? Like at the end of the day, are you making money? Like Mike that just called in, he's working for his father-in-law and he's trying to go start his own thing. But dude, how much money are you making? How much money did you make last year? How much are you on track to make this year? How much are you on track to make next year? You know, and then the last piece is, are you learning? So for Mike, he could be making more money year over year. He could be learning more year over year. So maybe it makes sense for him to stick around for a little bit, if there's nothing else that he can learn or benefit from the environment, you know. But you've got to get around the right people and you've got to have the right information, you know. So you can't be expected to know everything. Like people aren't born with all of this information. It's stuff that you have to learn. And the best place to learn is from other people. I don't know everything. I'm not where I want to be, but looking back, I'm miles from where I was. But I try to stick around people that I can learn from. People that are like really far ahead of me. That's why I love working for Grant. You know, and that's why when we put together the 10X Miami event, we got Damon John. I'm excited to be around Damon John. When he comes into the office, I get to hang out with him. I'm excited because I get to learn from him. I get to see how he operates, to go from selling hats on a street corner to building a $6 billion brand. Why we invited Sarah Blakely. She is in history, she is the youngest self-made female billionaire. Like, that's a major accomplishment. She's the youngest person ever in history to build their own company and become a billionaire as a female. You know, she started with $5,000 and turned it into billions. Dude, these are the types of people that I want to learn from. These are the types of people that I want to be around, because there's nothing different. I've been around so many amazing people, business celebrities, super wealthy people, the most connected people in the planet because of the role that I have here. And I can tell you one thing. They're all people. They all start in the same place. You know, they all have similar stories. Like there's nobody that I've met that has this special sauce that they were born with that created their success. They deal with the same problems that we had. They deal with, you know, struggling to be engaged or committed. right? But what they've done is they've figured out along the way a few things. It's not these massive radical changes. It's a few things that they figure out and they put into sequence, and the result of being disciplined and consistent in doing so turned into massive results for them. Billion-dollar results for them. $1 billion of real estate for Grant. Billions of dollars in brand with Damon, and billions of dollars in sales for Sarah. So this is the least expensive ticket we've ever offered at $99. It's a one-day event. It's something new that we're trying because we're going to load in a bunch of information into one day with 3 speakers rather than 25 speakers over a 3-day period. So really excited about it. Take advantage right now at grantcardone.com/10x Miami. grantcardone.com/10x Miami. Get your tickets. We've got a few VIP tickets available. I think there's 1 or 2 private dinners with Grant the night before still available. So if you want to get to Miami, you want to break bread with Uncle G and pick his brain and chat, it's going to be a very small dinner. There's going to be probably 6 or 8 people there, maybe 10 people max, depending on the place we end up going. We talked about doing it at Grant's house, so we'll see what ends up happening. But go to grantcardone.com/10x Miami. And also, make sure that you show up next week on Thursday, same time, noon, East Coast Standard Time on the Cardone Zone. This is Young Hustlers. Remember, the only people that condemn the hustle are the ones that have already given up on the hustle themselves. We'll see you next week.
We want to make this a big event for you. Our goal is to change your lives. If you know you can help, if you know you can make a difference, if you don't, you're going to have this freaking big hole inside. No amount of money can fill this thing up.
It started when I was selling fax machines door to door, getting kicked out of office buildings day in and day out. And I woke up one morning and I thought, I'm in the wrong movie.
So that's why I created Damon On Demand and Rise and Grind and Display of Power and Power of Growth and do Shark Tank to empower you to make sure that you don't make those mistakes in life.
Greatest love you can actually give someone is giving them the ability to achieve their dreams.
Producers and creators are the sources of all value on the planet. MC Lobster, the host of the top-rated business and investing podcast Cashflow Ninja, is on a mission with Producers Wealth to help producers create, protect, and multiply their wealth outside of Wall Street in any economy by creating systems and processes that help them increase their production, provides them with liquidity, passive income generators, and opportunities for enormous growth. Learn more about their time-tested and proven systems at yourownbankingsystem.com. That's yourownbankingsystem.com. Producers and